Investigate Dave the Useless. Now, I don't know if you were listening, but I told you all about a deleted version of the opening of Monsters Incorporated. Well, you know what? Get ready for something even more messed up, because it stays in my head everywhere I go. It was the week after the Disney Plus series Monsters at Work, a spin-off series of Monsters Incorporated that showed that it gets really scary to go to work. It ended its very first season. I was walking around listening to music on my phone. But as I continued walking around, rocking out the Limp Bizkit, I found a bump hidden under the sand. I dropped down to examine it. As I dug further into it with my hands, nevertheless, I probably should have washed them, I found a box. Oh, I took that box into my house, all right. I took it in there to open it up, where I felt safe. But no place is ever safe. We are all slowly dying. As I opened up the box, it turned out to be a Monsters Incorporated DVD about an internship recreation of the opening scene. The cover consisted of the animatronic boy lying in bed with his eyes wide open, while Mr. Bile was watching behind him. The DVD's release date was Halloween of 2002. Ominous. I was worried about watching the DVD, but I put on a brave face to do so. Not that anyone was watching. It's not like there are hidden CCTV things in my house wired up, unless there are. My parents are a little overprotective. I put the disc in my portable DVD player and I began watching it. A grave mistake. It took me to the menu. The menu depicted a couple of the characters from the film. The soundtrack was even a portion of the main title theme song, so that checked out. The animation listed was Bile's Partner, September 5th, 2002. Well, that was great. I was glad that he found a partner. Now, to be honest, I actually did think that title was a little weird, but I shrugged it off and I just started watching it. Before the Bile's Partner animation played, there was a warning. This internship animation is not for anybody with sensitivity issues. Also, please beware of any disturbing moments here and there and everywhere. Viewer discretion is advised. Not again, I said under my breath, accustomed to all of these things, these lost scenes and things. As I took a bite of my Doritos Locos Tacos from Taco Bell and sipped on a Mountain Dew Zero Sugar Major Melon. The scene played. It began with the actual scene from the final film, but when the shadow flew over the animatronic boy, ominous music played, scarier than even the normal soundtrack, and there was a faint woman's scream coming from under the bed as it panned down to there. Just then, familiar low-pitched laughter could be heard as a pair of scary red eyes peered through the bed, and I don't mean pink eye. Just then, it cut to a shot of the animatronic boy asleep. Thaddeus Bile emerged from behind him, but more messed up than the first deleted draft. He had devil horns and many satanic markings over his body. The boy opened up his eyes, and Thaddeus Bile bared his claws to scare him. Thaddeus Bile roared demonically, causing the boy to turn around and let out a blood-curdling scream. Big ol' Bile has become very terrifying, said Thaddeus Bile. It sounded kind of like Goofy. The boy attempted to run out of his bed, but he accidentally stepped on his soccer ball. It bounced onto a wall and ricocheted back at him and hit him in the face, causing him to slip on the skateboard, sending him flying into the air before finally landing into a pile of jacks. He screamed again, more piercing and blood-curdling. The scream was so loud. It was so loud. It was so loud. It sounded like someone was in front of me bellowing. I had to cover my ears, but it was too late because I was neurologically affected and I was hearing noise that didn't even exist because I had nerve damage. The scream lasted for about the same time the animatronic scream went on in the original film. I uncovered my ears once the scream was over, but when I was about to watch the rest of it, I noticed blood on my hands and I felt thick liquid running out of my ears. Not again, I said. Was it that time of the month? The scream made my ears bleed again. Back to the scene, Thaddeus Bile grabbed out a chainsaw to kill the child with, and the latter ran to his bedroom door. However, a young dude and crazy Thaddeus Bile slams through the door, sending the boy falling backwards. Then a blue female monster emerged from the hole through the door. It was Taryn Bile from Gloria Bombfim 2019's Monsters Inc. OC content. Instead of Zurg from Toy Story 2, she is the girlfriend of Thaddeus Bile from Monsters Inc. Look it up. Taryn Bile? I asked myself. What is she doing in this movie film? Hello, my child, Taryn Bile spoke. Who are you? The boy nervously stuttered. My name is Taryn Bile. Bile has hired me to destroy you, Taryn Bile replied. Yup, Big Billy Bile is going to get you, little boy. Say hello to my good old Taryn. Thaddeus Bile shouted as his voice faded to a demonic effect. Thaddeus Bile started up his chainsaw, and Taryn Bile, holding a knife, executed the boy. But would she be able to? She wanted to do it. The boy ran out of his room screaming and ran down the hallway. As Thaddeus Bile and Taryn Bile ran down the hallway, chasing him as the former laughed like crazy, while the latter abused to try to stun the boy. The boy then entered a room with pink-painted walls. He then ran to a girl who was still asleep in bed to wake her up. Wake up! Wake up! Pleaded the boy. Oh, the girl did wake up. Well, what is it, Nick? Said the girl. She had blonde hair, a pink night shirt similar to that of Boo's, and blue eyes. I was surprised there. The animatronic boy's name was Nick. I never knew he would have a name, but I suppose all little boys have names. Or if they don't, that's really sad. There's a monster in my room. Not only that, there's a blue female monster, whatever species it is. They're trying to kill me, Nick said. The girl gasped. What? She said. That's horrible. Oh, little boy, we're coming. Oh, no. Thaddeus Bile's voice said, echoing through the house. The girl then held on to Nick in fear, and then a chainsaw poked through the girl's bedroom door, scaring the two kids like a classic "Here's Johnny" moment. Demonic laughter could be heard as it happened. But just then, Thaddeus Bile poked his head through the hole he made and said, as a reference to the film The Shining, that's right, you thought it was coming, and it did. Here's Billy. Nick and the girl screamed in terror. Run, Cassie, Nick said, and the girl's name was indeed revealed to be Cassie. That name combination sounded very familiar. Nick and Cassie, Nick and Cassie, Nick and Cassie. The two children then ran out through the doorway to evade Taryn Bile and Thaddeus Bile, though Nick accidentally bumped into Thaddeus Bile's spiky tail, causing his leg to bleed from the spike. He might need a tetanus shot if he survived. Nick and Cassie ran to the living room to hide. Nick hid in the corner of a couch, and Cassie, on the other hand, hid under a table that was covered by a rider cloth. Taryn Bile and Thaddeus Bile looked through the living room to find the two children. Come out, my children. We're going to end your lives slowly and painlessly, Taryn Bile said. Where are you, little boy and little girl? Cooed Thaddeus Bile. We're not going to kill you. We'll just hurt you badly. Taryn Bile and Thaddeus Bile then split up to find their victims. Taryn Bile found Nick and Thaddeus Bile found Cassie, because the two children... Nope, they evaded the killers again and ran around the house. Thaddeus Bile tried to attack the kids with his chainsaw, but the kids kept avoiding him instead. He shredded every obstacle in his way like the shredder. Cassie and Nick ran to their front house's door. However, Thaddeus Bile and Taryn Bile pounced onto them as soon as they got outside. Thaddeus Bile's claws ground into Cassie, causing her to bleed. Thaddeus Bile laughed demonically as he grinned stupidly at the Cassie, holding up his chainsaw, ready to kill her. Taryn Bile pointed a knife at Nick. She maniacally, sounding like Shion Sonozaki, maniacally laughing from Higoroshi no Nako Koro ni. Hasta la vista, little girl, Thaddeus Bile mocked. Don't worry, my son. This will only hurt for a little bit, Taryn Bile said. Nick panicked. No, please don't kill me. Don't do this. No. No. We're only kids. No. 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 Bile and Thaddeus Bile got ready to murder their victims. Taran Bile raised a knife in the air, and Thaddeus Bile raised his chainsaw. As Taran Bile was about to stab Nick, and Thaddeus Bile was about to cut Cassie with his chainsaw, it cut to a scene in the final film. It cut to the animatronic boy screaming from Thaddeus Bile's point of view. Thaddeus Bile screamed back and stepped on a soccer ball, slipped on a skateboard, caused him to land on jacks, and later screaming like a girl and running in circles. The Internship animation showed the boy was revealed to be just a robot, and Thaddeus Bile made a huge mess in the simulation room. What a relief. The bed was knocked over, many objects in the room were moved around and damaged, and the simulation boy was pulled out of the bed. Thaddeus Bile then smiled sheepishly as the wall pulled up. Miss Flint, another character from the film, was disappointed in Thaddeus Bile for making such a mess. "Mr. Bile, you're fired. I'm sorry, but the truth hurts." Thaddeus Bile groaned in despair. Despite that ending, I must say that I was disturbed, if not a little bit disheveled by whatever I just saw. What was that? I asked myself. That was more messed up than the deleted version I saw last year. You even had the same ending as that version, I said, sipping my Mountain Dew and biting into another Doritos Loco taco to try to forget about the pain of watching that shit. I pulled the disc out of my DVD player and destroyed it. Even buried it with the Woody's Nightmare Internship Animations DVD from Toy Story 2 that I have. I didn't sleep for 4 nights. What I saw was just too much for me to handle. Anyway, whatever you do, this dude Adam Kennington, whatever you do, just please, just stay away from Adam Kennington's stupid horror animations. Whew.